Hi everyone, welcome to M&N Reacts. I'm M.
I'm N.
And today we're watching Murderbot, episode 7. Let's get into it.
Let's go. All right, M, what'd you think of last episode?
I thought it was a good episode. I really liked seeing Murderbot and Mensa's relationship grow a little bit when they were stuck in the downed hopper. I also really love that Sanctuary Moon is a major plot point, not just a funny hobby that Murderbot had, like we thought it was in episode 1. It keeps coming back full circle and actually helping it through some pretty critical moments. I love that its instinct was to put on a calming episode for Mensa to kind of bring her back down when she started to panic. I also appreciate that they didn't drag Labibi's story out very long. And again, we saw kind of Murderbot doing what he was there for, protecting that group. Yeah, and I thought it was really interesting. I'm interested to see where we go from there, especially when we ended the episode and it was like, yeah, that felt good.
A little bit ominous ending there.
It was, but also some people had pointed it out in the comments. There was a couple people who mentioned this, that part of Murderbot's story in the books is that it likes to win. So, you know, the question is, was that commentary part of that because it won against Labibi, or was part of that because it was doing what it's programmed for? It was protecting everybody. And even though it hacked its governor module, even though it's rogue, those instincts might still be in there somewhere. So it's kind of the question of, they made it ominous, but was it really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. It definitely felt ominous. It definitely felt like Murderbot may, I don't know if veer off the right path is the right term, but may kind of give into more of its desires and really more of its desires than its original mission to protect the team. Now, like you said, last episode, I really appreciated the development and the relationship between Murderbot and Mensa. And again, we're seeing how Murderbot is acting after, you know, in situations where he isn't being given any orders. So when Mensa needed help, I don't think that she asked for help. Murderbot just autonomously tried to help Mensa, and you know, just the best way that it knew how, and that was from Sanctuary Moon, which is its passion, right?
And I wonder how that's going to change for the group's perspective with it blowing off Labibi's head. If they'll kind of err towards a little bit more of Garathan's caution, or if, you know, they accept that it was trying to protect them.
Right, and you're right, because Murderbot was surprised at their reaction to it saving them. I think it thought that because through all of the movies and the shows that it's watched, the not victims, but the
people that are saved.
The people that are being saved are really grateful to the savior, and Murderbot's finding out that that's not really always the case, and there might be a different way to do things. It's very interesting because it completed the job. It technically saved the day, but just because you save the day doesn't. I think a how matters there, right? How do you do things? And I think that it's learning that. Or maybe, you know, or this might be one of the first experiences in it finding out, okay, I have finished my job, but you're not acting like I finished the job. So I think that it's a bit confused.
Well, and I think
maybe slighted.
Maybe slighted, yeah. And I think also it doesn't have the comprehension that it might take people time to process too. Like, they might actually be grateful, and we may see that this week, but in the moment, they weren't at a place that they could display that. I mean, you saw the range of emotions when that happened. You saw somebody puking, you saw somebody laughing, you saw people screaming. You know, it was just the entire bank of emotions to like shock and trauma and all of that. So I wouldn't even say that they necessarily weren't grateful. I mean, I think that they were understandably freaked out. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays into this, and if Murderbot can kind of expand its understanding, knowing that, you know, it might not get praised immediately, but that doesn't mean that they don't appreciate what it did.
Right. Right. If you're enjoying this reaction so far, please consider subscribing to our channel and checking out some of our other videos. But for now, you ready to get into it?
Let's go.
Let's go.
But they canceled them so that they could sit in the front row of my lecture, and I had a friendly face to look at.
Yeah, they do.
Bitter. So I took it the wrong way. I shared that I had romantic feelings for them, and Pinley did not return those feelings. Me? My apologies for the discomfort that I
feel like this is a conversation you should have had in private.
Yeah.
But look at Garathan.
Talk about it. Oh, he was trying.
Well, I'm at a conference of non-aligned systems as the representative of the Free Planet Working Group. In fact, I am working for the Corporation RIM as a spy.
What?
They have induced me to be very addicted to a number of substances for which only they possess the formulas. My job is to acquire sensitive information that the Corporation RIM can use to divide their adversaries and further their reach. My target is Dr. Ida Mensa. I am seriously considering ending my life.
Oh, Garathan.
Wow, I did not expect to get this deep. Especially so quick.
And what is possible between people of goodwill. Should I break down? I tell her everything, but she forgives me.
Kind of hard to top that.
Yeah.
Bitter.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
I love Mensa and she doesn't love me.
Bitter. You are naive. This expedition to steal with the company, I don't like it. I don't think that it is safe.
Well, we have a security unit coming along. Doesn't that make you feel better?
No, it makes me feel worse.
Who died and made the SEC unit our boss?
She did.
They just kind of left it. Oh.
All our data. It's everything we've been working on.
There will be more data, trust me. We have to go. Come on.
Yeah, I would forget about the data.
Yeah.
Obviously something is very wrong on the planet right now.
Yeah.
They're coming. We need to leave now.
Oh,
Oh. They're all scared of it now.
Yeah.
Fine. Whatever. Time for a softer approach. I'm asking you to please get into the hopper. Unless you feel like dying.
Much softer.
I mean from them. Not from me.
Oh.
I think this is officially a Garathan fan account. Like, Garathan was fine for
Yeah.
me, but like, that like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, that kind of
got
hit
me.
me. Yeah. This might be a Garathan-centric episode.
Maybe we'll finally see some, like, progress with Garathan and Murderbot's relationship, too, because I wonder now if... I mean, I think that Garathan did have an appropriate response to Murderbot coming in. I think that some of his distrust and stuff like that was... Well, I mean, it was what you should probably be doing. But I wonder if a lot of it also stemmed from their similarities.
Yeah. They're going to be besties.
Is there a plan?
The plan is to stay alive.
For how long?
I was hoping for but I would settle for about a month.
Some pretty good aim. You know, unless we were trying to hit Garathan and miss, know what I mean?
If I was trying to kill Garathan, you would be dead. You would all be dead if I wanted to kill you.
Cool.
Cool, comforting. Yeah.
It's feeling good. It's feeling, confident.
Confident.
Mm.
Do you think it has any regret for killing the baby?
Don't know. It didn't use that word exactly.
Didn't use that word exactly. Nice little foresty spot.
Yeah, until something comes out to try to eat you.
I'm going to
Out
set
of
up
trees there.
Garathan, your body temperature is spiking.
Oh, thank you so much for the concern.
I didn't indicate concern. I just stated a fact.
I could see them being like best friends, though.
Mm-hmm.
Grateful. That's
Uh-oh.
what they were. Maybe I should stop sticking out my neck for them.
I'm not sure I would have landed the spaceship in like a crater area.
Yeah.
I would have been like the highest point.
It's mine. We cannot defend ourselves against it.
I'm more concerned with the people who are trying to actually
Yeah.
kill us right now. Of course, I am not happy with how it killed her.
I am also not happy with it because someone's head exploded next to mine.
She had a name.
Yeah. Libby.
Baby.
In its defense, Lee Bibi did seem happy to kill us.
No, I don't think she could have. I think she was bluffing.
No.
Thought it was supposed to protect us.
Not hurt anybody. Come on, guys. Sometimes you've got to break a few eggs to make a protein-dense breakfast.
Because we would be defenseless.
Babe, I'm here.
Yeah. So am I.
Both of you are here, but let's not forget all of the things that have happened and how we got out of it.
I mean, I think this is the moment we need to join hands with it, not abandon it.
If I were a construct who'd been subjected to years of forced labor, violence, and abuse, I would think seriously about trying to make it on my own.
If we get out of this, I'm suing the living shit out of everyone in the corporation rim.
See, this is where I think they're just too nice, though, because it's like, it was protecting you.
Yeah.
You need to accept it might not be pretty.
Mm-hmm.
To the reality, which was that I was one whole confused entity. I suppose I could just watch media until my battery ran out.
Whew. Oh, whoa. Wait. Is he imagining that?
I don't know. Yes.
Yeah. I'm a little bit worried we're not going to get Sanctuary Moon this episode. They usually throw a clip in.
They'll find a way.
I hope so.
I think you need a med bay.
We can't risk it. At least according to our new best friend. Do you have feelings for it?
For sec unit. Oh, darling, you really are out of it. How are you in general?
I had thought that one of the good things about not hiding my hacked governor module would be that I wouldn't have to answer stupid human questions.
Fine.
Don't.
Garathan thinks you're going to murder us? Somebody had to say it.
No, they didn't.
Well, it deserves to know. It's a member of our team.
Sorry, but it's not. Not really. Are you?
We don't have a governor module, but we can torture you by looking at you.
Probably. Right up until I remember they have guns built into my arms.
Exactly is your plan for security, besides threatening us?
I don't know. What exactly is your plan, besides filing a lawsuit?
I consider myself lucky to have someone here who is used to combat. We're not.
Unless you get a mining drill in your hand.
Good point.
I'm gonna have to reckon with that. I just want them to get past the violence. It's safer if they think of you as a person who is trying to help. Because that's how I think of you.
Here's something. Come on back in the hopper!
What is it?
Is there something on the perimeter?
Now!
We can talk about this.
No, you can't!
I'm not sure if this is the right place to talk.
No. Do you believe that he is just...
I think now might be the time for the helmet to go on.
And now might be the time for them to believe that it is truly just trying to help them.
Yeah, and also, why aren't you flying away?
No, this one's different.
Ugh. Looks like that belongs to Stranger Things.
This is like Jurassic... Oh!
They're fighting!
No,
Are they gonna mate?
we're not fighting.
Ew. Yep.
I think they're complementary genders of the same species.
They're making love.
These are animals. This is just animal behavior. We need to be documenting this. We can't be administering shocks to them.
Frankly, I didn't find it any more revolting than what humans do to each other.
Okay.
That happened.
That definitely happened.
Ew.
Wow!
Great. Just great.
Aren't they though? Oh, they must have been attracted to the residual heat from our engines, and then they thought that this would be a really great place to reproduce.
I was standing around like an idiot when I learned that top-of-the-line sec units could jam my threat assessment module.
Please remain calm.
Whoa.
Please remain calm.
Okay.
All right, good try, good try.
That was pretty good.
I respect the
help.
attempts.
Which didn't help.
Because you just took out their babies. That solves that problem.
Yep. I feel like we just watched a lot in the last 5 minutes. I kind of liked how the team banded together there with Sec Unit to fight.
Grabbed me for some kind of celebration.
Oh.
Fortunately, fate intervened.
He needs a med bay. We have to get back to the habitat.
The habitat will be crawling with hostiles.
He'll die.
You will all die if you go back.
No, this is how we do it.
We take care of each other.
Oh, great. So now I'm the bad guy.
We're going. You can come if you want.
Not fair.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, man, I felt like that went by real quick.
It did go by really fast.
And the last 5 minutes of that were...
A lot.
Yeah, there was just a lot that happened in the last few minutes there. So I guess I'm trying to like wrap my head around everything in this episode. Well, I'll work backwards as I'm collecting my thoughts. So I liked the rogue, not the rogue sec unit, like the enemy sec unit. What do we even call these guys? The black suited sec unit. What are we calling them?
I think we'll just call them the corporation
What
unit for now.
Hostile. The hostile sec unit.
Yeah.
The hostile sec unit came in out of nowhere, and I really liked how the team kind of banded together to address that threat. Tried to. And it was pretty interesting to see that Murderbot seemed to be pretty clearly overmatched, going one-on-one with that hostile sec unit. So we'll see how, and I suspect that that's probably what we're seeing in the opening cinematic, with all of them coming after them. So I'll be interested to see how Murderbot and the team kind of deal with the rest of them moving forward, because I don't know if they can handle really more than one at a time. So that'll be interesting. I also, like I said, I really liked how the team banded together to fight the hostile sec unit. And before that, when they were having their
We can talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about it powwow moment, I thought I was really empathizing, actually, I think, with Murderbot, who I think we talked about it at the top of the episode, who took actions in furtherance of what it thought was what the team wanted it to do. But when the team reacted the way that they did, it was confused, it was upset, and I think it was to the extent hurt, that it could. It seemed hurt. It seemed offended, and honestly, I think a lot of people can kind of empathize with that.
Oh yeah.
Where you're trying to do something to help somebody else, or at least you think you're helping, but then actually you're annoying somebody, or making it worse,
yeah.
right? So. I think that a lot of us have found ourselves in that situation. So it was really interesting. It was, I don't know, there were a few scenes there that you can kind of empathize with. So I really liked that, how they explored that dynamic between Murderbot and the team.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think it's struggling to understand where the team is coming from. And it doesn't have the full range of emotions yet to kind of understand that and understand fully that, like, we should talk about this, other than just that it makes it uncomfortable because it's not something it's familiar with, it's not something it's good at. I'm a little frustrated with the end of it, though, with the, we need to go back to the med bay for Garath, and I'm not saying that they don't, they absolutely do, but kind of the anger again towards Murderbot of like, well, we're going, this is how we do things, we look out for each other, you can come if you want, is completely unfair, because it has done nothing but look out for them.
Yeah.
In its own way, just because they're uncomfortable with it, because it's not a human, it's not in touch with its feelings, it's not the same as them. It's interesting because they try to be very inclusive. You can see that through the flashback, you can see that through some of the diversity in the group and some of the conversations that they have, but then when they're kind of faced with this actual different being, they're putting forward the good face of like inclusion and making it part of the team, but then when it acts in a way that's different from them, instead of trying to understand that, instead of trying to kind of have some like empathetic approach to that, it's just met with fear and then anger and to some level like revulsion a little bit.
Yeah, resentment.
Yeah,
I think that you made a fantastic point. It's like they want to be inclusive on paper, but they don't realize this is not an entity that has had the full control of its emotions for its entire life. I know that when it takes off its helmet, it's a full-grown man, and that's what it appears like, but really, again, I'm not really sure what the timeline is from
a robot.
Well, I don't know what the timeline is from the mining incident until this one, but I forget if it's like a few months to a year or so. But really, that's it. That's how long Murderbot's had to be fully autonomous. And I can't even say that's really accurate, because he wasn't fully autonomous. It wasn't fully autonomous. It was still within the control of the corporation, and really only now it's been a few days or week that it's been encouraged to act to act on its own emotions. And just like you said, the second that it does something that they don't like, they're kind of turning on it. And I completely agree. And one more thing, I've said this to you before. One of my least favorite things in books or in shows or in movies is when rational people act irrationally, right? Murderbot has been right about so many different threats on this planet. And it is telling you, if you go back to the Hopper, bad things are going to happen.
Yeah.
It is overrunning. Look, I cannot fight this guy.
Yep.
Like we just got away, and you want to go back there where that place is overrun. I understand Garathan's down. I mean, obviously it's not saying this in these words, but I understand Garathan's down. We can't go back there. And then despite that, you're just like, oh well, this is how we do things.
Yeah.
We're gonna go.
Yeah, they're taking it as being so like cold and heartless, where, you know, because Murderbot is kind of just learning emotion, it doesn't have these inherently, it's considering the good of the many instead of the one. And they're just like, they can't separate any of that. And that, to be, like, it never said it wouldn't help Garathan in that moment either. It just said we should not go back to the med bay. It probably has another solution somewhere.
Just ask the question, Sec Unit, is there any way that we can help Garathan? Or can you think of something that can help Garathan?
Exactly.
Now, again, I think that we're really getting into it because, look, it's a show, there's a plot, obviously things have to happen.
Of course.
But it's out of character for Mensa.
Yeah, and one other thing that you had said that was interesting about, we don't know fully the timeline between the mining incident and it hacking its governor's module and then it joining up with this team. But even in that time when it was like free, it was in the corporation rim, so all it's doing is watching its shows and it's kind of learning from that, but it can't be emoting, it can't be experiencing these things or learning these things firsthand without giving itself away. So it really has only had the time that it's had with this group to start to learn those things. So, you know, I think that the end reaction was just really harsh.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It reminds me of when you're in college, you're sitting in class, you're learning, you know, they can teach you about science, right? About scientific principles. But then you go into a lab, right? Like, okay, you know these things, but how do you use the equipment? How do you apply them in a practical, real world sense? Very totally different. Exactly. So if you don't, you know, somebody could tell you something, but unless you're doing that thing, it's just very different. So, it just seemed like both parties are struggling to, like, both parties understand conceptually, I think, what to do, but they're struggling with the real world, the real world aspects of their developing relationship. And I think the show's doing a good job with that.
And I think they're all missing pieces of it too, because it's like, you know, Sec Unit has 100% of the security mindset and, you know, 15% of the human aspect and the emotions that are tied to this and the relationships and all of those pieces of it. Whereas, you know, the other group has 100% of the emotions and the empathy. for each other.
Right.
And while Mensa is trying for Murderbot, we're starting to see maybe not fully there. But they're not understanding the security point of it at all. I mean, you know, they push back to having Murderbot there at all. And then when it has done anything to help them, it's like, you're hurting animals, you're hurting people, you're doing all of these things. And it's like, can I do my job? Can I keep you safe?
Yeah.
It might be ugly, but that's the job.
Yeah, and it just seems like everybody on that team has kind of lived, I don't know if a privileged lifestyle is the best way to say it, but they've all been so isolated and secluded on this nice peaceful world that I think that they're a little naive with what the rest of, like, the galaxy is experiencing. So yeah. And one last thing I want to say, because we've been working our way kind of reverse. Big fan now of Garathan.
Yeah.
You know, I really like when shows can, like, make an impact with very little screen time. And I think that in really under 1 minute of screen time, I've kind of, I don't know if I've like completely flipped my view of
don't think we
Garathan.
disliked
Yeah, we didn't
him.
dislike him at all, but I now appreciate his character more.
Yes.
And I'm happy that we got some more insight into his backstory, which was very intense. And we kind of get a little bit more of his mindset of why he's so distrusting of Sec Unit,
Yes.
like innately distrusting of
And it
Sec
makes
Unit.
so much sense.
Yeah. Whereas before it was just kind of like, okay, this is just some grumpy old man. Not old man, but just some grumpy guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really interested to. I think that Garathan and Sec Unit or Murderbot are going to be. I don't know if best friends. I think that they're going to have some relationship. I'm rooting for that. Let's
I
put it that
can't
way.
wait for them to watch Sanctuary Moon together.
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
That's what I'm waiting for.
I don't want that to happen. I need that to happen. I need Murderbot to explain aspects of Sanctuary Moon
yes.
to Garathan. That would be amazing.
I need a duet of the theme song.
Oh.
That's the wish list.
Yeah, maybe we need to write Skarsgård to see if he can add it in.
Dear
as
Alexander, please make this happen. Thank you very much.
If you've enjoyed this reaction, consider subscribing to our channel and checking out some of our other videos. But for now, bye.
Hi.